ESG stands for environmental, social and governance, and these are essentially factors that we look at to determine the performance in terms of sustainability for companies. All of our stakeholders are realizing that we're really in the decade of action, as they call it. Customers demanding more, it's regulators that are increasing regulatory pressure, and investors really looking for your ESG disclosures. What's difficult about that is that it requires a different way of looking at your business. You have to factor in new things beyond financial indicators. It also requires a cultural change within the company, and it requires new data to be able to report on ESG performance as well.
LeasePlan's always been a leader in sustainable mobility, but we also see that the world has changed. So it's kind of in response to this whole new development that LeasePlan introduced its new ESG strategy called Driving to Zero. So as part of the Driving to Zero update, we've introduced a whole new range of initiatives across environmental, social, governance issues. We've said that we want to be not just net zero in terms of our fleet emissions, but we're committing to set science-based targets to bring our whole emissions, so Scope 1, 2 and 3 emissions, down to zero in line with the Paris Agreement. On the social front, a big one has been our commitment to make sure that we equalise the benefits and treatment of our LGBT colleagues across LeasePlan's 29 countries, no matter what local legislation says. On the governance front, a particular highlight is how we look at climate risk. Climate risk is obviously a huge theme, so we've introduced a totally new governance structure to make sure that those risks are properly managed and that any kind of impacts are included in our strategy, in our disclosures and in our risk management framework. If you look at the net zero fleet ambition by 2030, I mean, we can't do that without working with the OEMs, or without working with charging companies, without working with our customers. And we've made great progress there, forming a whole range of new partnerships with, cool new EV suppliers like Polestar.
We still see that in 2022, we are not transitioning in the speed that we need, especially not to meet the climate crisis. We need to see a huge adoption of electric vehicles during this decade, not after 2030. By adopting electric vehicles, LeasePlan actually takes action now to reduce emissions in a powerful way. And also by choosing to work with Polestar, all of the work that we are doing now with the current and the coming models to reduce the impact. That will go straight into LeasePlan's climate balance sheet.
We're really excited about this strategy, and we think what the right thing to do is make sure that every year we report on the strategy with clear updates to our various stakeholders. Our mantra is really simple. If it's measurable, we should report it, and therefore we can be held accountable.